Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is WatchArc. My name is Simone. I am a 22-year-old Italian broke watch enthusiast, and welcome back into my room. Last video was shot outside. It's just an update on how the channel is going and it's going to go. So if you haven't seen that yet, go watch that. It's going to be live for another day, and then I'm going to put it out because it was just an update for this moment. So if you are interested, go look that up. If you're not, that's fine. Let's stick to watches. And about watches, today we're going to be talking about this watch, which is the Islander ISL 84. This watch has been sent to me for free by longislandwatch.com, but I do have to send it back after I'm done with the filming and everything. This is the last couple of days that I've got with it. I've been using it almost daily for almost 2 weeks. Since I've come back from Paris, and this watch has been a great surprise in many levels. First of all, this is a very well made watch in my opinion. The first thing that becomes apparent when you take it out of the box, as you can see from my unboxing, go look that up if you haven't yet. The first thing that becomes apparent is how weighty it is, how heavy, in a good way. Like, very well built, solid build. This is a great build watch. It's going to be able to withstand 100 meters of water resistance, so that's great. Great peace of mind. The head of the watch is all stainless steel. We have sapphire crystal on the front and on the case back, displaying the NH35 movement by Seiko, which is very reliable, rarely misses a beat. So this is a great build watch. The specs are almost in all of the thing that it does are almost all amazing. As I was saying, the build is great. The finishing is very well made, very competent for the price. It's not going to be your most expensive watch. I'm going to tell you the price later, but overall, for the specs, this is an amazing watch. The thing is, this watch hasn't really connected with me a lot. Maybe it's because of how it fits on wrist. I don't have the bigger wrist in the world, and this watch is a 40, but it wears a bit bigger because it's almost all dial. It's a bit deep. It's almost at 12 millimeters, so not the slimmest. Yeah, so overall this is not the most comfortable watch to wear, and so I haven't really connected with it in the level that I thought. But outside of that, this has nothing to do with how you would wear the watch. If you have a bigger wrist, like around 7 inches, this is going to be an amazing watch for you. Besides one thing that kind of puts me off from this watch, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about the dial. This dial is white. It's crisp white. In some lighting condition, it's going to look a bit warmer, but it's really ice cold white, which is unusual. Usually white watches tend to have more of a cream dial, off-white dial. This is just white, and maybe it's not for everyone, but this definitely is for me. I love the look of this dial, especially, as I was saying, in some lighting conditions. In other, it makes it look a bit flat, a bit uninteresting, but this, first of all, makes the watch amazingly readable. It's a great readable watch in my opinion, and second of all, makes the watch really stand out from the crowd. Not a lot of watches have this color dial in them. It's pretty unusual. Usually watches, as I was saying, tend to have more of a off-white dial, which I'm not the biggest fan of. And so this is more of a Explorer 2 by Rolex-esque dial, and if you know what I mean. It makes this watch really readable, which is something that I do really appreciate in a watch. And but the problem that this dial brings with him, which is maybe the only real problem that I've got with the watch, it's the lume. So we have an orange second hand. The orange second hand has white lume on it. All the other lume on the dial, it's black lume, and it's not the best. So if you buy this watch, you must be someone that does not really give to lume that much importance. I don't. I personally don't. It's not something that I look up in a watch too much. I like my lume, but it's not something that, it's not a deal breaker for me, let's say. So for me, this is perfectly fine. It's not the best. It doesn't charge very quickly, and plus it tends to run out of power very quickly as well. So not the best. The orange second hand has white lume, and the lume on the white second hand, it's amazing. So probably if you go for the black version of this watch, it's going to have great lume, because the lume on the second hand, it's amazing. So to make this watch as it is, they had to sacrifice the lume a bit, which I'm fine with. Personally, it's not something, as I said, that breaks the deal for me. Not at all. It's fine, not an issue with it. But if you have an issue with it, keep it in mind. It's not going to be the most readable at night watch. During the day, it's amazingly readable. As I said, the movement NH35, so great. The case build, amazing. The leather strap, in my opinion, it's very comfortable and very well made. There is an option to go for the bracelet, which is a bit more expensive, I guess, but I don't know, I haven't tried it. But for this leather strap, it's perfectly fine. I like how it looks, black that matches the numerals, so it's going to be a great leather strap. Genuine leather, obviously, but a higher quality than your average genuine leather strap that you find in affordable watches. So, and a thing that I wanted to say is, making a leather strap is usually cheaper than making a bracelet. So why don't manufacturers of cheap watches make their watches with leather straps or NATO? Instead, they tend to decide to make their watches with awful bracelets. That doesn't make sense to me, but that's how they do it. They don't. At Islander, they decided to go for this leather strap, which is, for me, it's perfectly fine. So let's wrap this video up. This watch, for me, it's very competent. It's a great watch. It's going to have its flaws, because as I said, the lume is not the best, not the most comfortable watch ever. You're going to see in the B-rolls how good it's made. So there's a balance with this watch. If you need to have a watch with great lume, don't buy this one. If you need to have a watch which is very comfortable, don't maybe buy this one, although if you have a bigger wrist, it's probably going to fit you better. But if you want to have a well-built watch, you don't really care about lume, as I do, you want to have a watch for everyday use, more of a field style or aviator style watch, well, go for this one, because it's very well made. And for the price, this is going to cost you $200. For a watch like this, it's a great price. And for a watch that has this sort of background, you probably know Mark from rollingislandwatch.com if you follow a lot of watch related content creators on YouTube. Is one of the best in my opinion. So you know who's making this watch, and this is something that I value. And this is something that makes me not really, as I said many times, enjoy AliExpress watches. And instead of spending like 160 euros for a Pagani design, maybe spend a bit more and buy this one, which has basically the same specs, but it's much more reliable. You know who's making that watch. The person that makes the watch has his face on the internet, so if your watch is faulty, you know who's done it, and you can trust them much more than AliExpress, in my opinion. So if you want to have an affordable watch to do almost everything, to look cool without the best lume in the world, definitely go for this one. So thank you very much to each and every one of you for watching. I hope this video has been useful. If so, please click subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. This is WatchArc. My name is Simone. I am a 22-year-old Italian broke watch enthusiast.